Welcome to the Halliwell Manor. I'm Max.
And I'm Tina.
And we are here to discuss Season 7, Episode 16.
The 7-Year Witch.
And we are saying goodbye to Drake, sadly.
We are. But before we even get into anything else...
Alright.
What's with this terrible title?
Oh, yeah. I feel like they were just sitting on this one for a while, and then they were like,
It doesn't make any sense in context at all.
Shouldn't it have been one of the episodes where I was going to say Piper was cheating on Leo, but I guess they had broken up for no reason. So, the 7-year itch is about when you are fairly a long period of time into a relationship. And
7 years.
7 years. And you get the urge to cheat on your spouse.
This is actually the opposite of that, because this is about, losing your memory and yet still finding your way back to your spouse because you love them so much.
Also, it's about Phoebe learning that she can't give up on love.
Oh, God.
Which, I love that we just keep going back to this well, and we're never going to stop. There's one season left, and Phoebe needs, 2-3 more times to learn not to give up on love?
Yes. Also, you said that we're saying goodbye to Drake, but don't forget, it's also the last appearance of Cole.
Oh, so we're just going to talk about that right now, then. I think we probably mentioned it in the previous episode.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, this is the last appearance of Cole on Charmed. And if you were hoping he'd share a scene with Phoebe, that's not going to happen.
That's kind of weird, right?
Yeah, it's weird that the only one he interacts with is Piper. Was it a scheduling issue? I don't know. No, because they're definitely in the same scene a few times when he's like a ghost no one can see.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea what was going on.
But yeah, Cole's back for this one episode. We find out his whole 100 good deeds of Eddie McDowell situation.
Well, except that he will never be redeemed.
Well, neither would Eddie McDowell, because that show got canceled 12 episodes in.
The 12 good deeds.
Yeah, that dude was a dog forever.
All right, let's get started.
Yes, so after some weirdly low-res shots of San Francisco... did we have to dive into an older...
Oh, I just assumed this was a transfer issue.
Yeah, I could see that. We go to Paige and Piper demon hunting in an alley, which Paige fourth wall breakingly points out looks exactly like every other alley they've been in the last few years.
Yes.
And Piper is also incredibly done with this. She's like, yeah, we do the same thing over and over again. That's life. That's life, Paige. You do the same thing over and over again until someone blows you through a wall.
Oof. That was freaking dark. Piper just wants to go home and find out whether or not they're going to kill her husband or recycle him or whatever. And
I mean, it does feel like kind of bullshit that she has to do her witch job while they've got her husband.
Yeah, you better believe I would be on strike if I was dealing with this. I would not be doing what the elders wanted me to do. But Paige mentions that Phoebe is also feeling down because of the whole Drake is going to die today thing. And
yeah, enough talking about Piper's dead husband. It's time to talk about Phoebe's soon-to-be dead boyfriend.
Well, Piper didn't even know that Drake and Phoebe were dating, so I feel like there's enough self-absorption to go around.
Yeah, Piper, this is not a great sister moment for you. They were pretty obviously banging in the first episode he was introduced.
Yes.
Also, they were it hasn't been subtle. It has not been subtle. So
then this homeless outreach woman approaches them in the alley and is like, "Hi, I'm here to offer a hot meal if you need it." And Paige condescendingly says, "I'm wearing lip gloss. Do I look homeless to you?"
Okay, can I just point this out here?
Yeah.
This girl is so aggressively Penny from Dr. Horrible Sing-Along blog.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
She's a woman who works with unhomed people. She's got red hair. She's cartoonishly naive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure this came out before.
It did.
But, like, oh my god, this woman is straight up just Penny from Dr. Horrible sing-along vlog, which probably hasn't aged great. I liked it at the time.
I don't know. I would be willing to revisit it, but yeah, there are some things I can think of that are not great.
I mean, I guess it's just how much you're supposed to actually feel bad for Dr. Horrible. Because, like...
Right, if you're supposed to see him as toxic, like as a toxic incel, then it ages, honestly, too well.
I mean, he's literally a dude who got everything that he wanted when he killed a lady he had an unreciprocated crush on. Like...
Yep.
And then he still wasn't happy because, you know, he killed...
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna say it doesn't age well because it's not an unreciprocated crush. Penny does love him, and if he would stop being an asshole for a second, he could be with her. We see that. But he's too caught up in her being with, you know, the Chad. I feel like the show itself is too sympathetic to Dr. Horrible for it to really age okay, but I don't know. We could revisit it if we felt like it.
So
but I just wanted to say, we got off track here because what I wanted to say is that homeless people look all kinds of ways, Paige.
As which you should probably know as a former social worker.
Right? Okay, that just really annoyed me. That just really bothered me, especially the like.
Also, like, you think I'm homeless, I'm wearing lip gloss? Like, lip gloss isn't the most shopliftable thing in the universe. Not that, you know, if you're an unhomed person, you necessarily steal, but like, if you were going to steal makeup, it's so easy. Yeah. I'm guessing. I'm not a shoplifter. That's not something I've ever felt the need
called
to do. Yeah. I don't know. I know people do it for like good reasons too, but you know, it just felt very teen rebellion-y to me. Like there was never a point where I was ever like, ooh, I should shoplift.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just see people talking about shoplifting phases as like a thing on the internet. I'm like, that is not relatable.
Yeah, I never had that phase either. I'm sure many, many people never had that phase.
Yeah. And like, I guess there are shittier things you could do to rebel as a teenager. Like, this is not a pro-stealing podcast or anything, but like... I did my fair share of cringe shit as a teenager. You know, there are things you look back on and you're like, oof, but...
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I was super annoying to many mall employees when I was a teenager, so, yeah.
Oh, no, I definitely was with my friends. Not that, yeah, but... So, Piper is immediately done with having to talk to this woman. She freezes her... A demon blorps in. Piper very casually blows him up, and then she's like, okay, can I go see whether my husband's going to die or not? And more demons show up. Which, I really like how Paige takes care of them, too. I mean, it is a Prue-ass move. But she telekinetically throws a piece of rebar through a couple of them.
I appreciate that she doesn't know the word rebar, and when she orbs it through them, she shouts, "Ugly metal thing!"
But she misses one demon, which shoots it.
The female demon, because...
The deadliest of the species.
Well, they say later that it's only the females that shoot out thorns.
Yeah, because the female one nails Piper with a thorn before Piper very casually blows her up. And she's like, horns? The fuck? And then she goes home and sees something even worse than getting shot in the hand by a poisonous thorn.
Her husband in his choir robes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't think we've talked about before how much the elder robes look like they were taken out of the basement, out of a church basement.
Yeah,
It's hard to take them seriously.
It's very much the vibe. So Piper's like, oh no, they're gonna make you dress like that before they kill you. And Leo's like, well, they might not kill me. They are making me dress like this. But, they're good people, right? We believe in good or whatever. And, like, we've been through so much shit. They tried having you date other people and no one liked it. We're gonna be together forever. Or at least, we're not going to be separated by me being killed because I'm front credited. Come on, Piper.
At least not this season.
Ugh. At least not till the budget runs out. And even then, it's not like they had her dating other dudes or anything.
Nope, they just put him on ice. Literally. They fridge Leo.
They literally fridged Leo. So, I hope you weren't expecting the Cole thing to be a surprise because his name is the first thing in the opening credits. Yeah, front and center.
So, okay, up at the Golden Gate Bridge, where the elders meet.
The Q elder is, I don't think he's actually casually leaning against the thing. I think he's just kind of standing next to it, but it really looks like he's leaning on the thing where he's like, so you betrayed us, and even though I knew about the Avatar thing and I was cool with it.
Right? I was gonna bring that up!
Yeah, even though I knew about the Avatar thing and I was cool with it, we really, really don't like it when people betray us, so we're going to put you through a little test scenario where we wipe your mind, we drop you somewhere on Earth, and if you find your way back to Piper, you get your memories back, and if you don't, then you belong to us forever, and also we get to keep your voice.
And you never see your family again.
Going full Little Mermaid with this. But yeah, Leo's like, wait, why am I being punished for trying to make the world a better place? And the, like, reasonable lady elder is like, we're not punishing you. We're hurting you for doing the wrong thing.
We're testing you.
Yeah, it's a test to find your place in the universe. We're not trying to hurt you. And he's like, my place in the universe is with my family. And then she's like, well, you need to make a choice. He's like, yeah, I choose to be with my family. He seems very upfront about this.
Right? He points out that this whole test is stupid because how do they know that if he fails the test and has to be an elder forever without his family, he won't just fall from grace and become immortal permanently? And they're like, well, because no elder ever has.
Oh, yeah, we are establishing the hell out of falling from grace as a thing you can do.
Yes. But also,
conceptually, I really like it. It looks so bad.
Yes. But why is no elder has ever done it sufficient to calm your nerves about this? Because you know what else no elder has ever done? Had a human family.
Yeah. Also, like, we know elders have de-eldered before. There was that whole thing with that guy who was going to give his powers to that kid who had that, like, power where when he drew stuff it became real. Like, he was going to stop being an elder to pass his powers on to that kid. Like, this... And Leo never wanted to be an elder in the first place.
Right!
But he's like, look, this feels like one of those things where I can't just be like, I don't want to do this. I'm going to have to go through a whole thing. So let's just get it started so it can be over.
So they drop him.
Q pushes him, and then we smash cut to Texas.
State Highway 69.
Wah, wah.
Nice.
Yes, Leo has amnesia. That was a Futurama reference for those of you who, I was going to say didn't watch Futurama, but did not, my Monique impression is not great, so maybe you wouldn't get it from that. But yeah, Leo is immediately thrust into a moral dilemma.
Well, he immediately causes a car accident because he's standing in the middle of the road and the car almost hits him. And then, because this is television, the car, which swerves to miss him and then goes, off the road a little bit and flips over and catches on fire. I feel like that's overkill. Like a truck flipping over and catching on fire because it swerved off the road feels a little much.
Well, it needs to explode so that it can trigger a memory of him being in World War II to Leo, where he remembers that he's an army medic. And, okay, the elders. Your plan had two parts. Give Leo amnesia and drop him in Texas. apparently you whiffed the first part. You did successfully drop him in Texas, but like he has been in Texas for less than 3 minutes, and he's already remembering his past.
Is he in Texas though? Because I will be bringing this up later. So okay, he picks up a stick, and for a second I was like, oh, they're actually going to show him properly tying a tourniquet. But no, the stick is for the guy to bite down on while he ties the tourniquet. So just for reference, that's not how you tie a tourniquet.
The guy's like, oh, I'm so lucky that I almost ran over a doctor. And I'm like, well, if you were lucky, then your car wouldn't have exploded for no reason.
Right? Or maybe if you were lucky, the doctor wouldn't have been standing in the middle of the road. Also, what's Leo doing? He's tying a tourniquet. And he's doing it wrong. So I don't feel like you necessarily are going to jump to, oh, this man has medical training.
This guy has seen a war movie at some point.
Mm-hmm. I will say, though, in a minute, Leo is going to fix his arm, which has been dislocated. And I did write down some praise for the episode that his arm was dislocated. That was a good choice, because that's a thing that can be fixed if you know how, without any tools, and fixing it like relocating the arm instantly makes it better. So I'm like, okay, that's a good thing to have happen, because like if he was bleeding out, Leo doesn't have sutures or anything, and he doesn't know how to tie a tourniquet apparently.
So Phoebe and Drake are back at the manor. Phoebe and Drake have returned from their skiing vacation in the Alps, and Billy Zane does look tan here, which I am given to understand happens when you ski.
Sure, I've never been skiing.
I went once and it was god awful, but
I have an important question about what's happening in the background of this scene.
Yes.
What is with all of the flowers? Piper has so many flowers that she's arranging in the background.
She needs something to do with her hands, and that's what prop work they gave her.
It's such a weird bit of work.
It's kind of like that thing with the poinsettias in Home Alone, where you don't notice how many fucking poinsettias are in that house until someone points it out to you, and then you're like, wow, there are just poinsettias everywhere.
Oh, you know what you might not notice until you are looking, and until you're trying to recreate the set, until you're looking at it closely?
What?
How many ferns there are in the Golden Girls house.
Ooh, yeah. Also, I mean, I know they mentioned it, but it's a good setup and payoff in Bob's Burgers. How many lamps are in Bosco's office?
Yes. Is it too many lamps?
Because then you're like, yeah, they put a ton of lamps in that room.
Such a random joke. All right, so
Phoebe's like, I'm not going to save anyone if we don't get Leo back. You hear me, elders? I'm not saving anyone. And Piper's like, are you mockingly redoing my big heartfelt scene from that dog shit episode with the fairies, where that was the one really good thing in that episode, where I quit being a witch until they give me Leo back? And Phoebe's like, no, this was an original speech I came up with myself.
So the Lady Elder comes down to tell them what's going on.
Isn't her name here? I'm sorry, it's been a while.
She does have a name.
Yeah, and I remember, like, all of the male elders have names like Odin.
It's Sandra.
Yeah, it's Sandra. Sandra comes in. Sandra. Speaking of Bob's Burgers. Sandra. She explains the premise of the episode to the Charmed Ones.
But she's kind of giving them... She's trying to put her thumb on the scale, as it were, which is only fair because John Delancey is trying to put his thumb on the scale in the other direction, which we'll see. She tells them not to give up hope, to hang in there.
Yeah, she's...
And
Piper points this out, too. Piper's like, okay, first of all, Leo just wants to be with his family. I know, because we've talked about this whole bunch. Why are you making him do the test if he's been very clear about what he wants? And two, like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Which, this is a very cathartic moment for me personally as someone who hates the elders. But she's talking. She's like, what gives you the fucking right to make him go through all of this shit just to be with his family? And the Sandra is like, Piper, you need to calm down and try to see this from a, grander perspective. And Piper's like, you need to get the fuck out of my house before I kill you.
But Piper, it's all for the greater good. Which, speaking of line readings that live in your head,
yeah,
I always from Hot Fuzz, I'm just like, the greater good.
Yeah.
She tells Piper, when Piper says, he wants to be with his family, she says, but he also chose to be an elder, which, as you pointed out, not exactly.
He became an elder because
y'all got yourselves killed.
Yeah, the Titans murdered everyone, and you were too busy covering your asses to try to run the rest of the good ecosystem or whatever.
Although, I guess my theory that Chris keeps retconning what happened in that season, maybe that's not what happened anymore, but from what we've seen, it's not like he made a choice to be an elder.
Okay, something which I think we should kind of keep in our back pocket for later, but I do want to mention it here. I feel like there's a very direct shift in power here. Like, when Piper legitimately just threatens Sandra to her face, when Piper threatens an elder to her face, Sandra just leaves. Like, I feel like we are at the point where the Charmed Ones would be a credible threat to the elders.
Yeah, I think that sounds right to me.
Like...
Well, okay, that actually segues well into what I was about to say.
All right.
Which is that Sandra tells them that they've put Leo someplace they'll never find him.
Texas.
And not to get ahead of us here, but they find him in less than 24 hours. Like, immediately they find him.
Yeah, it's not a great showing on the elders' part. But I'm just really interested in the idea that the Charmed Ones, and let's be realistic here, Piper, is starting to be someone on the level of the elders. Like, because one of the things about Charmed is that for generations, witches capped out at a certain level of power.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a reason why upper level demons need a power of 3 spell. Like, there haven't been witches who have had the kind of power the Charmed Ones have had up to this point in history. I don't know. I just think it's really interesting that the Charmed Ones are kind of escaping from the elders having power over them.
Yeah. I like that. And then also, I mean, you just make me want to talk about Buffy, because that, of course, is what happens in Buffy, where she is able to break away from the Watcher's control.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this is so contrived. Everyone has a sad sack moment where they're giving up on love because Piper's husband has amnesia and it's utterly hopeless, and Paige... Is Paige still sad about what's his bucket?
She doesn't mention it, but let's just assume she is.
And Phoebe's sad because Drake's gonna die pretty soon, and let's be honest here, they've kind of had more chemistry than she's had with anyone in a while.
Right.
Like,
oh, that's why they didn't have her interact with Cole.
Oh, oof.
No, because she has so much chemistry with Julian McMahon. It would have totally undermined this thing with Drake.
But Drake points out that giving up would be, stupid, because this is a problem that's pretty easily solvable. And also, Phoebe, for fuck's sake, this is not about you. This man's death is not about you. The situation is not about you.
Except it is!
Yes, this whole situation is about her. But he's like, don't give up on love just because the guy you're currently banging, who is way better than any of your other boyfriends. Sorry, you're going to have to suck it up and marry Coop. But, like, don't give up on love just because one of your boyfriends is going to die. You've been here so many times.
He says the phrase "love never dies," which made me laugh because of the terrible Phantom of the Opera sequel.
He also kind of does a what's it from Moulin Rouge?
Oh, the Elephant Love song.
Yeah, the way that song begins with...
all you need is love.
Yeah, him listing a bunch of songs that have love in the, title.
Okay, so I was actually thinking of, and you're going to have to cut this part out.
Okay.
But I'm going to play for you Logan's love speech, and then, sorry guys, we can't play it, so, I don't know, go look it up or something. But I'm going to play it from X right now, but he's going to have to cut it out.
The internet is free. I mean, not really, but, you know. YouTube is free-ish. You have to watch so many ads.
I thought our love was epic. For people who are Logan Veronica shippers, that's the thing. That's the tag we would put on Tumblr. I thought our story was epic.
Okay, so how canon is the sequel series? I mean, I know a lot of people, and by a lot of people, I mean everyone on this couch thinks you should probably disregard everything after, I'm going to say, season 2.
Okay, I'm not going to spoil for our listeners. I'm afraid that we have to accept it as canon. The terrible, terrible thing that happens.
I mean, it's the terrible, terrible thing that happens, not the entire season. Whoa!
It's better than season 3.
Yeah. You know what? Fair. It's one of those things where you're like, maybe we don't need to keep bringing stuff back. I liked the movie. The movie was...
I'm like, you're saying this while we sit under our giant Veronica Mars poster.
Okay, but the thing is, the movie is like... I'm basically quoting you here, but it's basically just fan service.
Yeah.
Like, you paid them $20 to make this movie. They said a bunch of stuff. They had a bunch of people you know from the show saying a bunch of stuff you remember. Like, it's cartoonishly pandering.
Yep.
But like, it would have been a fine place to leave it. You didn't need the sequel series where we're trying to do, you know, we're trying to bring it back to the season everyone loved, but we're also trying to make it its own thing, and it's all very Gilmore Girls 20 years later. Where you can tell that much time is not supposed to have passed.
Okay, I do not want to go off on so many tangents, but I just, you know, Gilmore Girls is actually relevant, so I'm going to throw it out here.
All right.
The thing about A Year in the Life is that it's frustrating that Rory has just been spinning her wheels for so long when she left off with such promise at the end of the series. But let me tell you what it feels like to be a millennial, and maybe the problem with A Year in the Life is that it's too real.
Yes.
Too real.
I mean, Rory does have real peaked in an early academic environment energy.
Burnt out gifted kid.
I was trying to avoid it, but yeah, she seems like someone who did incredibly well all her academic life and then flopped at her first job and never tried again.
Yeah, that's basically Rory. Well, I was going to bring it back to the show, so if you had something else to say about Rory, you should do it.
No, I was going to bring it back too.
They say they can't scry for Leo because he doesn't have his powers anymore.
That's not how
that
scrying
doesn't make
works.
Any sense.
You have, like, I'm sure you own some, you have his children. You have half his DNA sitting in the house. Come on. Like, I don't think you need power. You don't need...
No, someone doesn't need to have powers for you to be able to scry for them. Otherwise, they'd never be able to scry for any mortal, and they absolutely have scried for mortals before.
Yeah.
Anyway, Drake is like, hey, Phoebe, let's go upstairs and check the Book of Shadows.
Let's see if there's another way we can find Leo. And he's kind of doing a little bit of an Elvis voice, which I feel like that's kind of what he's defaulting to when he has to do like a character voice, but it's fine. People liked Elvis despite his, you know.
Yeah. Paige is going to go to magic school and see if she can figure out a way to scry for him because she knows that she's way better at scrying than Phoebe, which is not the way it should be, but it's the way it is.
Also, they need to remind us that magic school exists now that they're not doing plots there anymore for some reason.
Yes. They're also going to call Daryl because now that Leo is mortal, he should be able to track him through mortal means.
All right. I would be I'd be not upset about this, but I would be questioning this more if A, it didn't work, and B, like, they could have sent him anywhere in the world and they sent him to Texas.
Well, the thing that bugs me, and I kind of previewed this a little bit, is that this is obviously not a real town. It's obviously like a magical liminal way station, except that Daryl's able to find him and the sisters are able to go there. So what is happening?
At very least, it feels like the okay.
Are you going to talk about Big Fish?
No. I'm going to talk about something from the same era, but very, very different.
Oh, okay.
Did you see the movie Triple X?
I did not see the movie Triple X.
Okay, so when the government is trying to find non-traditional people to be government agents, and they abduct video game extreme sports star Xander Cage.
Okay.
One of the first tests they put him in, like after they kidnap him and drug him, he wakes up and he's in a diner. And he immediately clocks, I think, 3 or 4 different things that let him know that this is not a real diner. The only one I remember off the top of my head is that his waitress is wearing high heels. And he's like, well, my aunt was a waitress, and you would never do a full shift in high heels.
Okay.
But he figures out that it's a fake town from the stuff. And this kind of reminds me of that because everyone's a plant. That's
yeah. Yes, exactly.
In a fake scenario meant to test you.
But anyway.
Okay. Also, I know this is irrelevant thing. But in that movie, there's a bit where he sleeps with a woman he thinks is a prostitute, but is actually a U.S. agent or something. It's been a while since I watched it.
Okay.
But in the scene where they're about to have sex, she's filled an entire room with candles. And I always thought when I watched this movie and I was in middle school or whatever, why don't you think this is another training situation? In what situation would a prostitute fill an entire room with candles before you had sex with her?
Yeah. That doesn't seem... But, whatever.
Yeah, it's a movie. You don't think about it. You don't think about how this U.S. government agent who's posing as a prostitute is just sitting there standing there like an intern on The Bachelor just lighting all these candles.
Oh. Anyway, Piper stands up and she's like, oh, I'm woozy, I'm dizzy. There was probably poison in those thorns.
Yeah, probably. If only had a white lighter, elders.
I wrote down in my notes, the elders love leaving the charmed ones without a white lighter. And I think that's part of the thing you were talking about how they're getting too powerful. Yeah, it's definitely a plot on the elders' part.
Okay, so Leo's in the police station because he has amnesia, and he needs help finding who he is, and everyone's aw shucks, small towns ain't America grating at him. There's a giant picture of George W. Bush there.
But that's because he was the president at the time, and that you would have that in government buildings.
Okay, I'm sorry to go off on another tangent here. And I know that's true, and that's the same picture that they use. But there's a bit in the Sarah Silverman program where a guy's trying to lure her into his van. Mm-hmm. And her sister ends up rescuing her, and she points out all of the things that she's like, there were so many warning signs not to get in the van, and there's it zooms in on like their handcuffs, there's duct tape, and then there's that picture of George W. Bush on the wall.
I just have to say I worked with HUD a lot when I first started my legal career, and I am grateful that when I worked for HUD, the picture that I had to see every time I walked in the building was Obama and not anyone else.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So the lights flicker in the
sheriff's department station.
And Leo has a flashback to him killing Gideon. And he puts his hands up defensively, and the guy who was walking in from the hallway kind of just tips his hat at him and then keeps walking in.
The sheriff is like, wow, you're a little jumpy, aren't you? It's like, well, he did almost get hit by a car, and then he had to save a guy from a giant fireball that absolutely shouldn't have happened, and he has amnesia. So, yeah, he's a little chumpy, man!
And the sheriff's like, look, we'll put out a thing about an amnesiac man in Texas, and I'm sure you've got some loved ones looking for you, which is a pretty big assumption on his part, but sure, why not? Friends don't let friends get amnesia.
He's also going to take him across the street to the diner so that he can get some pie and him and...
oh my god, is this the worst episode of...
Studio 60! That's exactly what I was going to say. It connects to our Studio 60 podcast. The first episode of which came out last week.
What was the name of that town again?
Pahrump, Nevada.
Pahrump, Nevada. The best pie you've ever had, which I'm sure in LA there are 10,000 better places to get pie.
So the first episode of our Studio 60 podcast came out last week. You should listen to it. I'm very proud of it. The Nevada Day episode doesn't happen for a while yet, so...
You will have to wait for that. But also, remember in that one, that really, really boring Hallmark Christmas movie about the radio station, where the woman who's at the small town radio station, you've seen a Hallmark movie before, you know how this goes. But she's eating these sugar cookies, these frosted,
Uh-huh.
She's like, these cookies are so good. You can't get cookies like this in the city.
And they were like the kind that you get at the grocery store?
They were Safeway cookies. They were the frosted cookies you get at fucking Safeway. I guarantee you, no matter what part of the country you're in, you can get those cookies at your local supermarket. But I'm like, you couldn't have had someone bake or even buy chocolate chip cookies at Safeway.
Right? It's funny because my friend Laurie, who's actually the person who turned me on to Charmed in the first place back in law school, she loved those cookies. Loves those cookies. Those were her favorite cookies.
I mean, they're good, but they're, sugar and butter. It's just sugar and butter.
You're not going to go wrong with sugar and butter.
Yeah. So Phoebe is trying to scry unsuccessfully, but, come on. Phoebe couldn't summon a ghost by herself. Why are we expecting her to do anything?
She's like, hey, I'm sorry, Drake, that we're spending your last day looking for my brother-in-law instead of traveling the world and boning across the world.
And he's like, well, I spent a year traveling around the world and boning, so you know what? I can help your brother on my last day.
Phoebe's like, hey, you made a deal with a bad guy. We're the good guys. Maybe we can get you out of your deal.
Yeah, she's very pro trying to weasel out of it. And he's like, no, it's my time. I got the greatest gift in the world, getting to be human for a year. And on one hand, Phoebe, you shouldn't try to weasel out of stuff. On the other hand, why the fuck can't he weasel out of this? They're the charmed ones. He made a deal with some random-ass demon, and I know this is a thing throughout the show. I really do feel like the charmed ones should be able to magic bulldoze their way through a bunch of problems.
Okay, but to kind of back up a second, he didn't make a deal with a random-ass demon.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a Cole thing. Yes, you're right.
He made a deal with Cole. Drake can't let her try to help him because then she'll find out that this was all a setup by her ex and she's gonna be all like, was I just a bet to you? Oh yeah, he tells her that the last thing he needs to do before he leaves is remind her to not give up on love.
They've been doing this with her since season 2.
It is a little ridiculous.
I mean, although if she keeps giving up on love, maybe it is a lesson she needs over and over again. Or hell, maybe just let her give up on love.
Right? Maybe everyone doesn't need to
end up with someone.
Right?
And she's like, remember, I had a baby in the future. You don't need a dude for that.
Right?
Also, I know I kind of stopped mentioning it because, but my God, you can totally see all of Alyssa Milano's breasts through her top there.
She's wearing a camisole.
She is wearing a camisole, and, I guess probably when the show wasn't in HD, we stopped mentioning it because, but I don't know, it feels weird. It feels like a weird thing that you could just have on TV.
It was the style at the time.
It was the style at the time.
So, Piper's on the phone yelling at Daryl to find her husband.
And Daryl's like, you're not really giving me a lot to go on. And also, wouldn't they have just dropped him in, like, France or somewhere? But no.
But then Piper...
Dies.
Okay,
I know what the wiki says, but I really feel like she dies more than any other sister.
Well, we can go back and count it. This one, though, I think doesn't count as dying because she's only mostly dead.
I love that her reaction is, oh man, am I dead again?
I was going to bring that up. It's amazing. And Cole is like, no, you're only mostly dead.
Also, I'm here. It's me, Cole. Hi, yeah. Piper.
Cole shows up and she's like, ugh, fucking Cole. He looks great, by the way.
Yeah. She's like, I don't know what's worse, that I'm dead or that I have to spend eternity with you. And Cole's like, well,
rude.
It wouldn't be a picnic for me either.
Right? Anyway, he tells her that she called out for help and he's the one who answered. He's the answer to her prayers, which...
I mean, you could have been more specific, Piper.
So the sisters run downstairs and they see Piper's almost dead body. And of course, Piper cannot communicate with them. And Drake is like, she's dying of broken heart syndrome.
Yeah, because Phoebe's like, oh, is it, we should have had Leo heal her before he left, which he left before. But yeah. We should have had him heal her before he left. Or maybe this is because Leo left. And Drake's like, I agree with you, Phoebe. She clearly has a broken heart and was injected with poison.
He tells her people die of broken hearts all the time. But also, remember, as we're going to find out at the end of this episode, Drake knows exactly what's going on with her.
Okay.
Honestly, Drake's kind of being a dick here. Well, I mean...
He's being a huge dick. He's like, Leo's the only one that can help her, but maybe he's the only one who can help her. And Paige is like, that doesn't make any sense, Drake. And Drake's like, clearly you weren't paying attention during my long-ass dumb love speech. And Rose McGowan does this, like, cringe face directly into the camera. It's fantastic. She's like, ugh, I don't want to be in this show anymore.
I mean, okay, I'm like jumping way ahead here. And I'm just like, I'm jumping ahead and giving away the ending here.
Okay. Cole
is the one who sent those thorn demons, specifically so that they would poison Piper. Because somehow he knew what the Elder's plan was. I'm just going to let that go. And he knew that the only way to save Leo would be if Piper died or came very close to death. And then, like, the act of her almost dying, her soul being connected to Leo's, would kind of call out to him. And that's what would bring him back to her and have him pass the test. And by her love for him being what calls him back, Phoebe will believe in love again.
Yes, because Piper and Leo have the most stable relationship of anyone on the show. He said, laughing a little bit, but it really is true. It is, yeah.
I'm just thinking, Cole gave Drake a year of humanity with the price being that he was going to make Phoebe believe in love again. But the whole plan about Phoebe believing in love hinges on the whole thing with Leo pissing off the Elder. Well, I guess maybe that's a fair bet. That Leo would piss off the Elder sooner or later.
Also, it's from the comics, which I know, questionable continuity. The Buffy comics say they're canon, but let's see how canon they are when the sequel series comes out. But in the comics, Cole is directly working with Grams, Patty, and Prue. So I could see them feeding him information from heaven about the whole Elders testing Leo thing. Because we know Grams loves to gossip.
Right, but he put this plan into motion a year ago, so he was just assuming that in a year, Leo would do something to piss off the Elders.
That was before any of the Avatar stuff even
That's
went
what
down.
I'm saying!
Yeah. The writing was on the wall.
Anyway, back to what's happening currently. There's a really sweet moment where Phoebe kind of looks around. She senses that Cole is there even though she doesn't see him, and then she kind of shakes it off and leaves.
Yeah, and Cole looks all sadly after Phoebe, and he's like, "Oh, Phoebe, what sweet love we could have had." He quotes Shakespeare.
What I think is really great about this, you're kind of mocking it here, but I actually kind of love it.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens is he's looking, after Phoebe with surprise that she saw him, even though his entire point to Piper is that her love for Leo will transcend everything, and he'll be able to sense her. He's nonetheless surprised when Phoebe is able to sense him. I think it's sweet and tragic.
Also, I did notice that Julian McMahon, despite the fact that he and Alyssa Milano are sharing the scene, they are not in a same shot together during this. So you might be right. It might have been a scheduling thing. But Piper calls him out for quoting Shakespeare, and he's like, "Oh, it's a recent thing," hinting at his dynamic with Drake, who you might remember was hired to be a literature professor.
Yep.
Although the show forgot pretty quickly.
I mean, almost immediately.
So Cole explains the situation to Piper that
it's kind of a cosmic gumbo.
It's a void between life and death, but not the place between life and death where you conceived Chris, and not the place between life and death that Leo reconnected with you when you got stabbed by that doll that had disease. It was a
the tiny little action figure, yeah.
So Cole's like, "Look, it's very important to me and my eternity that you and Leo get back together." And Piper's like, "I straight up don't believe you. I'm gonna leave." And he's like, "Do you not get the ghost thing? Like, just trust me here." And she's like, "I don't trust you. I think that you crawled out of super hell again, and this is another one of your dumb plans to get Phoebe back by turning her into a mummy or whatever."
I mean, fair. It's fair. But also, she's not dead yet, so she can't get too far away from her body. Over at the diner, Leo is eating a bunch of pie, apparently for free.
And the waitress is like, "You sure got an appetite. Why don't you try something a little heartier?" But she's not flirting with him. She's like, "Since the sheriff is paying for your food, you might as well get actual food." And he's like, "No, that pie was all I needed, baby. I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep verging into that."
I don't know either, especially because she's like, "You know what? I bet wherever you're from, you have somebody who cooks for you." And for a second, he's like, "Oh, wait, do I?" Wait, no, she owns a nightclub. And then he notices the tan line where his wedding ring usually is. And the elders took away his wedding ring but left the tan line. And then the waitress is like, "Maybe you're not wearing your ring because she dumped you for cheating on her and then hit you with a frying pan because we're a cartoon from the 1950s and that's why you have cartoon amnesia."
Yes. This actress is definitely a Helen Hunt type.
Hey, don't step on my premonition.
All right. So, yeah, everyone's very jovial, small town. Leo's looking around the diner, and it's that one scene in the you remember that episode of The Simpsons, the early one with Jacques, where Marge is driving down that one street, and then in one of the bad clip shows later, she references, she's like, "Thank God I drove down that thematically appropriate street."
I have to say, though, when he's looking around at, the couples who are in the diner, and then he looks up at the TV where there's a soap opera playing, and there's a couple kissing, and it just feels appropriate to me that a soap opera is what makes him remember Piper, or at least start to sense her.
It would have been great if it was the soap opera Piper was watching in that episode where she's horny because Leo won't have sex with her because she's pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
But it's probably not.
I forgot about that, so I didn't even think to check that.
So, Paige and Phoebe have decided to just call every police station in the country until they find Leo.
Yeah.
Which...
I mean, I don't have a better plan.
I mean, I don't want to be the boy who called magic, but, like, there are other spells, right?
Other than scrying?
Yeah. I mean, you could probably...
To call a lost brother-in-law?
Husband. Yeah. But Daryl comes in and he's come up with with floor matching John Does that match Leo's description. Mm-hmm. And someone hands him a file that is about Leo. So the fifth person they looked for was Leo.
Well, he's a John Doe who's just saved someone's life. That's how they know that it must be Leo.
To be fair, he does a lot of that.
Yeah, that's true. So Leo, back in Texas, steps outside of the diner. Again, lots of people making out.
The horniest diner ever.
Right? But then he sees a big rig with the Golden Gate Bridge on the side because it's like San Francisco oranges. Oranges don't grow in San Francisco.
I do not think so, no. And
uh-oh.
Who should be behind the wheel of this big rig but Q Elder?
Yep, he's putting his thumb on the scale the other way. He's like, hey, wanna get a ride from me so that I can proselytize to you?
Oh, if that's not in the direction I thought that sentence was going.
I'm not in the horny diner.
Yes, they're I'm sorry. They're pulling out of the horny diner.
Okay. So when they pull out of the horny diner, there is a sign at the crossroads, and it's pointing to San Francisco, London, and Honolulu.
Why?
That's the main thing that makes me think this isn't a real town. That's the main thing that I'm like, what is this? And I mean, we do have one of those signs, like, literally in the town we live in, where it's like a crossroads sign with directions to various places around the world and stuff. But that's more performance arty. Yeah, it's more of an art piece. This is also, why would you point to Honolulu? I guess why would you point to London? And it's just so it makes me feel like this place isn't real, but it is real. So I don't know what's going on in this episode. Anyway,
so Drake is looking through the Book of Shadows to try to find a cure for Piper's thorn poison, and he gets mad, and the book flies away from him because mad demon, and he's like,
oops, sorry, a little bit of my demon came out. And then he finds the thing that we were talking about where, the last episode, where Leo was writing in the book.
Boo.
But he's touched. He's like, oh, Leo loves his sons.
Yeah, it's tips for future white lighters. And the only thing I really could see in there was that the most important thing is apparently love. So remember that. So downstairs, Piper's trying over and over again to get through the ghost boundary.
Yep. And Cole's like, I've told you 1,000,000 times you can't do that because you're not a ghost yet. She's like, well, the last Halliwell who trusted you got knocked up, so shut up.
She says, ended up pregnant with your demonic spawn. And Cole's like, not my best moment, but Phoebe's going to make a great mom. And also, okay, so now the baby's theirs again, huh?
Right.
It wasn't secretly a seer baby the whole time, so Phoebe doesn't need to be upset about it.
Well, also, Piper's like, well, you chose to become the source of all evil. Again, no, he didn't. But that's important, though, because he says to her, you know, Leo and I are a lot alike. We both tried to change the world to be with the woman we love. And he keeps getting accused of choosing to be the source. He did not choose, just like Leo didn't really have a choice about becoming an elder.
Yeah, and a lot of the Avatar stuff feels like it was originally intended for Cole, and then, you know...
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. That's interesting.
I really feel like they were just recycling scripts and scribbling out Leo or Cole and writing Leo.
But Leo and Cole really are foils for each other, and I wish we had more of them together in this show.
Yeah, it was always fun when they, the few occasions where they teamed them up.
Yeah.
And they were also kind of weirdly more effective than the Charmed ones, which is
I know.
It's probably not what you want on your TV show.
All right, so Phoebe and Paige show up at the diner. They ask the waitress if she's seen Leo, and he's like, I knew that a hot guy who was nice and also apparently a doctor had to have a wife somewhere.
Okay, so the picture that's carrying around is the wedding picture of Leo and Piper, and it's like, did you not have any other pictures of Leo?
This is before cell phone cameras.
I guess. It just feels like that should be it's from the weird marriage shrine they have that only exists when it needs to get smashed by someone dramatically.
Mm-hmm.
But also, why are they driving for this?
Well, the woman at the diner tells them that he left about an hour ago with a guy in a big rig, so he's gonna try to chase him down.
Shouldn't they just be orbing to truck stops on the way? Wouldn't that be faster?
I don't know. Okay. I know I mentioned the flowers.
Is it the chickens thing?
What's with the chickens?
Yeah.
Is that like a
trucker thing?
No, is it because he's an angel, so they're chickens? Is it like behold a man? I don't know what's happening. But yeah,
what you're supposed to do is put rubber ducks up there for some reason.
What's that, a Jeep?
Okay, why is it a thing with Jeeps? Is this
is.
Like a 6-7 thing?
In that it's a meme that doesn't really have any logic behind it, yes.
Yes, that is what I meant by that.
But yeah, people who own Jeeps, they put a bunch of ducks up there, and if you see a Jeep, you put a duck on it. It's just a thing.
Okay. So, yeah, I guess someone was doing that with chickens. Truck drivers and chickens. Now I have to look in the cabin of every truck I see to see if there are chickens there.
Oh, wait, is that a thing? Because I just thought that this was specific to John Delancey, Elder. Are they supposed to be symbolic of something?
I feel like if they were symbolic, the symbolism would be like way, way, way more obvious. Not to be mean to Charmed, but...
Okay, but the point is, the cab of his big rig is filled with, like, stuffed chickens. I don't know why. If you know why, let us know. And he starts talking to Leo about how Leo's clearly a guy who likes to save people and take care of people, and he's actually part of a group of people who take care of people and try to help out people. And I'm like, if I'm hearing this, I'm thinking cult. I'm like, get out of that truck. This guy isn't a cult.
Well, because Leo's like, I feel like I've got someone looking, out there who needs me, and John Delancey's like, maybe everyone needs you in the capacity as some sort of healing god being. But I'm mostly distracted by the fact that John Delancey is so bad at fake driving. He is moving his arms so much.
He's moving his entire body and rocking the steering wheel back and forth, even though the truck is going straight. Yes, it is, honestly, you're right, kind of ridiculous.
It's like, okay, I'm sorry, we're going off on so many tangents here. In Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, when they have Valencia doing musical instruments...
Oh, yeah.
And you pointed out to me, like, when she's playing the guitar, they just have her waving her hands near it, or when she's doing the piano, she's just kind of... They're not even trying to have her fake do the instrument. She's pretend playing well.
Yeah.
It's like that, where you don't notice that John Delancey's doing crazy Muppet arms until you notice it. And then you're like, has John Delancey never driven a vehicle before?
I mean... It's possible?
It is possible. He does have the air of a man who's been driven to every single thing in his life.
Yeah.
So Piper and Cole are still hashing things out because, Cole needs to help Piper, but Piper doesn't think she can trust Cole. And, she's not going to let him help her until he tells her what he's getting out of it. And he's like, come on. Can't you just assume I'm getting something out of it? Why do you need to know the specific thing? Which, I mean, to be fair to her, Cole, it could be,
This could be another demon baby situation.
It very easily could.
But he finally breaks down and tells her that this whole thing is so that Phoebe will not give up on love. And honestly, the look on Piper's face is the correct look. It's like, oh God, this shit again. Also, I'm sorry, I really hadn't thought about this until we started talking.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, did he arrange the whole Avatar thing so that Phoebe wouldn't give up on love?
He slid the Avatar's Leo's number.
You have no idea how deep this rabbit hole goes.
If I was Piper, I would have one question for Cole, which is, have you been invisibly hanging around our house for the past however long it's been since you died?
Oh, I wouldn't have that question because I would just know the answer was yes.
Oh, God. How does anyone shower, have sex, or masturbate in this house? There are so many ghosts here. Like,
I mean, I think you just need to trust that the ghosts will either respect your privacy or you just have to not care. Like, yeah.
Oh, God, that would ruin everything for me. If I knew Grams could see me, because I know she wouldn't respect my privacy. Like, if I knew Grams was watching me through some sort of, omniscient thing,
mm-hmm.
I don't think I could ever use the bathroom in that house, or anything. I couldn't do anything in that house.
Yeah. Alright, so, John Delancey has reached another crossroads with Leo. He's either going to turn west and go to San Francisco or go north.
Oh, boo. Boo.
I wrote boo in my notes, but also, theoretically, this guy already said he was driving to San Francisco. If I'm Leo, I'm so fucking suspicious right now.
Hey.
I guess he forgot how to be suspicious.
Hey, I'm a truck driver whose literal job is to bring things to a specific location. But which direction do you think we should go, random stranger?
Anyway, he's like, okay, I'm gonna go with you. Let's go north. Seconds before Paige and Phoebe show up and are like, wait, no, Leo! And John Delancey's like, haha, too late, and orbs the two of them out of there.
Oh my God.
It's an asshole move.
And the thing is, this entire exercise ends up being a huge waste of time anyway. Because Leo gets his memories back, not now, but soon, and he's just like, no, I want to be with my wife and children. But,
yeah. So Cole has told Piper that she needs to die. If she dies, then there will be like a burst of energy of her soul and it'll reach out to Leo and that will remind him of what's going on.
Yes. If Piper dies, then her soul will let out its final scream and Leo will psychically sense it and come to her aid. Because, as Drake points out in this scene, no other White Lighter can heal her because it's not just her body that's dying, it's her soul. Because without love, her soul is dying. You need love or your soul will die.
Okay, but we know that's not true because of what's about to happen, so this is seriously just Drake trying to drag it out so that they call Leo. So
Piper calls out for Leo and she's back in her body and she's dying and she's like, Leo. And they're going to go to the Golden Gate Bridge to get Leo because White Lighter Land doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. Phoebe's like, I have a plan. Paige, orb me to the bridge.
And she's like, once they're at the bridge, Phoebe's like, I know you can hear me. Come down. Bring us Leo.
And he does. And they're like, Leo, Piper's dying. And Leo's like, I'm sorry, do I know you? What's going on? And
Phoebe rightly points out, she's like, okay, how is it a test if you just erase his mind every time he starts to do something you don't agree with?
Yeah, also, if you, like, showed up and literally dragged him away.
Yeah.
Also, not a lot of time has passed since John Delancey orbed him up to Whitelighter Land, and he's back in his elder robes, like...
Well, I think some time has passed. It's night now.
Yeah, but not enough for him to have fully internalized the elders the way that he seems to have. Anyway, Phoebe's all like, wait, all you need is love. Leo loves Piper. You can't erase that. It's etched in his heart or whatever.
Yeah, like, you can erase his mind as much as you want, but he's gonna start getting his memories back over and over and over again. What, are you just gonna wipe his memories every, like, 3 months? And he's like...
What is this, The Good Place?
Also, I mean, it wouldn't be that hard, right? I mean, it'd be annoying, but...
Anyway, he feels Piper dying.
Her wedding ring finger... Yeah, her hand with the wedding ring on dramatically falls to the ground as she dies.
And he's like, oh, time to fall from grace. And he does. He throws himself off of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Okay, I don't want to be mean here.
It was not a flattering shot of him. It was not nice on the part of the cinematographer.
Yeah, it was not a flattering position. I get he's falling, but I feel like if you had him falling backwards, it would have worked better.
It would have looked much better.
As Blanche Devereaux said, you should always try to meet people on your back. But, yeah, no, because having him, like, leaning forward just kind of makes all of his face and body go forward and down.
Yeah.
And it didn't look great. And also the effect was bad. But yeah, he kersplats from the top of the Golden Gate Bridge to the, not the bottom, but the part where the cars go.
Yes.
And that has made him fall from grace. He has chosen his family over the elders, but also, that means he can't heal anymore.
Right?
I guess he couldn't just
What was his plan?
Yeah. Yeah, like maybe he thought he'd be a white lighter after it, like... You should have tried to hit one of the, like, ledges. Your problem was not falling the correct amount.
But speaking of asshole moves, they all Paige orbs them all back to the manor, and Drake is sitting there, his body's kind of blocking what's happening on the couch, and he says, "You're too late." Wyatt already healed her.
Oh my god. He's got a little demon left in him. He's got a little demon left in him.
That's true.
I'm afraid your son's gonna be alright.
Yeah, he lost his left hand.
Don't normally get that reaction.
Anyway, so they're like, how did you know Wyatt could heal? And he's like, I read it in the book. Leo wrote it in the book. And it's like, well, yeah, but also...
He's
fucking
omnipotent.
Wyatt.
Yeah.
He was healing her from the womb when she was pregnant.
My favorite thing about this scene is that the Wyatt kid is very, very clearly chewing something.
I know, they like gave him a piece of candy to do the scene or something. Anyway, Leo's happy because they're together even though he's human. That's what matters.
Yeah, he gives this speechy speech about how, now that he's human, they can be together forever and they'll never have problems again. They'll never have problems again. Okay,
so since you're quoting Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and we've already done that multiple times this episode, now Phoebe is saying goodbye to Drake, and she's like, it's been such a whirlwind, which I always hear in Rebecca Bunch's voice when I hear that. But yeah, she's like, we've had so many adventures. We did the nightclub thing, and then we did the Robin Hood thing, and then the Romeo and Juliet thing, and yeah, okay, I guess that was it.
Yeah, he gives her the complete works of Shakespeare as a I'm going to die gift, and wait, Cole was quoting Shakespeare earlier in the episode. Maybe this is some kind of hint. But Phoebe tells Drake that he's been good for her, which It feels like a weird compliment, but okay.
I mean, he's said multiple times that he's okay with dying, so whatever. And he told her the last thing he wanted to do was help her believe in love again, so.
They do this thing which honestly would annoy me in other circumstances, but the two of them do have a kind of chemistry where he's like, say I helped you believe in love again. She's like, maybe. And she does this kind of churlish thing where he's insisting, come on, I helped you believe in love. And she's like, who can say? And then she's like, yeah, you did. And normally that would annoy me, but the two of them have a really good dynamic. So
yeah, I believe the two of them together.
Phoebe has a way too on the nose thing where she's like, isn't it weird that you came back into my life to remind me of love in just the moment where I had given up on love? And Drake's like, don't worry about it.
He says that a little bird told him that she needed love.
He tells her that he's about to blow up in a massive geyser of gore and he'd rather not have her be around because he wants her last memory of him to be nice and not, him exploding in horrible agony. So,
and then he does a very smooth little dance slide out of the room.
He kisses her and then he dance slides out of the room. It's nice.
Honestly, like, that's the way to go.
It's a good exit.
Mm-hmm. And then Cole shows up, and this is when we, the audience, I know I already said it, but this is when we, the audience, have it confirmed that Cole is the one who made him human, and
he set him up with the sorcerer. He put all of the pieces in place.
Yes, specifically so that he would make Phoebe believe in love again.
Drake thanks him. He's like, I wouldn't have had the life I had without you. Like, thank you. You helped me. You let me be human. It was something I never got before, and I just wished I could do something to help you. And Cole's like, hey, look, I'm comfortable with where I am now. Like, sure, it sucks being a ghost forced to help people for eternity to make up for my sins, but, I'm okay with that. And then I'm like, kiss, but they don't.
Yes. Then Drake does die, and
he just kind of falls over. He doesn't explode.
Yeah. And not only does he not explode, his body disappears, which is very considerate.
Yeah.
No cleanup, no muss, no fuss.
Say what you will about demons in Charmed, but
Yep.
They have a classy exit.
And then we see him ascend up in a very Orby fashion, so he goes to he's clearly gone to heaven, and happy ending for Drake.
Cole watches his spirit ascend and then does this kind of smoke teleport or dust.
Yeah, it's almost like he ceases to be. It's interesting. It's not a teleport I think we've seen before.
No. But it definitely reads as, he's going off to do more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, maybe Julian McMahon will come back. Probably not.
It felt more like, and it felt more like in between angel and demon, right? Like a dispersal that is not demonic or angelic. Anyway, back in the manor, it's morning, and Leo's so psyched that he's immortal and gets to be a human man with his wife Piper and his two kids, one of whom is super magical.
Okay, it's hokey, and honest to God, I wouldn't expect Brian Krause to sell it. He does good work sometimes on this show, but it's also really easy for him to whiff smaller moments. And just the bit with him, it's the morning, and he's looking out the window. He's like resting his head on his arms, and he's resting his head on his arms, and he's kind of looking out the window, and he tells Piper, I don't hear jingling. And it's this, he does, it's such a little thing, but the way he delivers the line just really makes it land that this is a freedom.
Yeah, that being a white lighter has been a burden. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the end of the episode.
Okay, it's weird. It's weird to say because it feels like, I don't know. I really like this episode. There are so many things in it that should not work, but I really like this episode.
I do too, and this is an episode where the more I watched it, the more I saw in it, which does not always happen with Charmed.
Yeah, there are episodes that do well with a surface read, but this one was nice. Except what was with those chickens?
Oh, I was gonna say what was with that title.
Oh yeah, come on, you can. Cole's back. No, you wouldn't do that.
But I'm sorry that we had such a good time because the next episode is Scry Hard, and I regret to tell you that it's terrible.
Oof. Yeah. Okay. So
the Peacock description doesn't even begin to cover the insanity of that episode, but the Peacock description is Zanku lures the sisters out of their house so he can search for the Nexus.
I really, really would love to like Zanku, but he is just such a nothing villain. He is such a flop villain. And they're like, this is the guy that's going to take us to what we think is the finale of the show.
Uh-huh.
You know what? I think Billy and Christy were a better final boss.
Yeah.
I think.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
controversial opinion, but yes, I agree.
Because, Oded Fair is a good actor, and he could do well with this role, except Zanku gets his ass kicked over and over again by everyone. I don't know why we're supposed to take him as a serious threat by the season finale. Like, they sweat him so much. Yeah, he was so big and bad that the Source had to lock him away. You killed the Source, and then you killed, 3 people above the Source.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? So, yeah, that'll about do it for this episode. Much like the Charmed ones, we have our own power of 3. The first power in our pack is Premonition, who in this episode was, or will become famous. I didn't have anyone, but I'm guessing you do.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing we talked so much about Gilmore Girls this episode, because the waitress in the diner was Kathleen Wilhoit, who is Liz Danes from Gilmore Girls, Jess's mother and Luke's sister.
Oh.
Wife of TJ.
It's Peter Petrelli, right? That was Jess?
Yes. No,
yeah, Milo Vigliamo.
Yeah.
He was Peter Petrelli.
Right, in Heroes, yes.
Yeah. Vigliamo. Yeah. I remember seeing a thing that was talking about how that show he's in that was famous for making people cry.
This Is Us?
This Is Us. Someone was talking about how it was period inaccurate because he was too ripped when he had his shirt off, and, he was supposed to be he was supposed to be some guy in the, 50s or whatever. And I'm like, I feel like there was probably some people who had abs in the 50s.
I thought you were going to talk about how he died in a crockpot explosion, and after that episode aired, Crockpot was like, our crockpots don't explode! That's not a thing!
Oh yeah,
You're thinking of pressure cookers!
I would be incredibly surprised if they did not get sued over that.
I mean, I don't think they did. I'm sure they did whatever they needed to first, but Crockpot still, released a statement afterwards. I said it exploded. I don't think that's accurate. I think that it caused a house fire. But still, Crockpot was like, no!
Yeah. Also, if you are someone who does not like cooking but wants to eat, homemade foods, invest in a Crockpot. It's so easy. You just throw a bunch of stuff in it, turn it on for 4 hours, 4 to 6, or 8 hours, depending on how long you're... it's so easy to make meals. This is not sponsored by Crockpot, but
we're the opposite of This Is Us.
Yeah.
We just want everyone to have a Crockpot.
Seriously, I wish I knew about them, earlier. I ate so much crap during college. I would have eaten so much better if I knew, hey, you can make beef stew, snap. I'm snapping. Yeah.
I do have to say that you said This Is Us, the show known for making people cry.
Yeah.
So when This Is Us was airing, I was going through a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching the show in my room. And then when I came out, I was like, to you, because we were roommates at the time, I was like, I don't know if you heard me in there, but I just want you to know it was because I was watching This Is Us, not because of the divorce. Was that too mean?
Do
you need to cut that? Or was that too mean?
I don't think it was, but if you want me to cut it, I'll cut it.
Don't cut it, but leave the discussion about whether or not you should cut it.
Okay. I think that'll bring us to the second Power Pack time freeze. I'm just gonna say the Ducks. I'm gonna just take a shot in the dark.
The chickens.
The chickens, yes, the chickens. All the chickens on the... I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say that is some cultural touchstone I completely forgot about / never knew about. Are you Googling it really quickly?
I am. It doesn't appear to be a thing. But, it doesn't appear to be a thing, but this is a very, very quick Google, so.
Yeah, you know what? I'm taking a shot on this.
All right.
I think the Ducks was something. I think it was
chickens.
A reference. Chickens. God. I think the chickens were a reference to something.
I got nothing.
Were rubber chickens having a comeback at the time? Because there was one of those in there.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, okay, that'll take us to the third Power Nerd Pack. Telekinesis. What, if anything, genuinely moved you?
Oh, okay. So the thing that I wrote down to say was, honestly, it being Julian McMahon's last episode. That really made a lot of it a lot more poignant for me.
Especially after his
Especially since
passing.
we lost him this year, yeah.
He was so
young.
And so talented. We just saw him in The Residence right before it happened.
Yeah.
And he did a fantastic job in that.
But having watched the episode for like the 5th time, I want to call out the specific moment with Julian McMahon when he seems to be surprised that Phoebe has seen him as the moment that touched me the most. It's such a small moment, and it's so well acted, and it makes me miss Julian McMahon even more.
Okay, not to give all the credit to the men, but mine is also it's a Leo moment, and it's the one I talked about earlier. The bit where he says, "I can't hear any ringing." I don't know. It's this little piece of acting, and it's one line, but the sense of relief you get from him, it was genuinely touching. And again, it's not something I super expect from Brian Krause to land a little moment like that.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, that will bring us to the next episode.
I already talked about it.
You did?
Yep.
Oh, God, yeah. All right, so, that will about do it.
Our show is partially listener-supported. If you want to be one of our supporters, you should head over to our website, www.welcometotelevision.net, and click on our Patreon link. We'd like to thank our current $5 and above patrons, Beryl, Patricia, Rosa, Alex, Becca, Carolyn, Cassidy, Daniel, Alicia, Hoops, Jen, Javier, Maricruz, and Randall.
If you'd like to support the show in other ways, you can always rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. It helps other people find the show.
If you want to talk about this episode or any episode of any television show, you can find us on Blue Sky at Welcome to Television, or you can email us at ilovetelevisionzines@gmail.com.
So until next time, I'm Max.
And I'm Tina.
And this has been Welcome to the Halliwell Manor.